This mindset helps you embrace mistakes and failures not as setbacks, but as essential parts of the journey, as learning experiences that sharpen your skills and deepen your squad. Progress acknowledges the imperfect nature of growth, reminding you that transformation is a process, not a one-time event. By valuing progress over perfection, you create space for resilience, creativity, and persistence. You free yourself from the pressure to be flawless and instead commit to being consistent. This shift not only reduces anxiety, but encourages you to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear or the results aren't immediate. Celebrating progress is a daily practice of self-kindness and patience, a way to honor your efforts and keep your momentum alive. In a world obsessed with flawless outcomes and instant success, it's easy to get caught up in the trap of perfectionism, waiting for the right moment, the perfect plan, or the flawless version of yourself before you take action or feel proud. But perfection is a mirage. It's an unattainable standard that often leads to frustration, self-doubt, and even paralysis. Instead, celebrating progress means recognizing the small victories, the daily steps, and the consistent efforts that move you closer to your goals, no matter how imperfect they may seem. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing or what could be better to what has been accomplished and how far you've come. When you celebrate progress, you fuel your motivation and build confidence, because each success, no matter the size, is proof that you're capable of growth and change. They challenge your comfort, because they want you to evolve, to level up, to stop settling for average when you have the potential to be exceptional. But just as importantly, they never challenge your confidence. They don't belittle your dreams, mock your ambition, or chip away at your sense of self-worth. They don't disguise criticism as tough love or make you feel like you constantly have something to prove. Instead, they inspire belief not just in them, but in yourself. When you're surrounded by people like that, you're more likely to take bold steps, to keep going through setbacks, and to stay grounded in who you are even while you're changing. The wrong circle will drain you, distract you, or keep you stuck, but the right one will elevate you. So be intentional about who gets access to your time, your energy, and your journey. The people you choose to keep close have a profound impact on the person you become. They influence your thoughts, your standards, your decisions, and even your sense of what's possible. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with individuals who challenge your comfort, not your confidence, those who push you to grow without making you feel small. The right people will hold you accountable, not to break you down, but to pull the best out of you. They'll tell you the truth when it's hard to hear, not out of criticism, but out of care. They'll push you to stretch, to question your limits, and to refuse the easy way out, not because they think you're not enough, but because they see how much more you're capable of. These are the people who celebrate your wins without resentment, and who stay honest with you in your lows without judgment. High energy doesn't come from caffeine or hype, it comes from alignment. When your actions, values, and environment are aligned, your energy becomes sharper, more sustainable, and more impactful. Protecting your energy also means honoring rest, solitude, and silence, not as signs of weakness, but as acts of self-respect. You are not a machine, and your worth is not measured by how busy or accessible you are. When you stop wasting your energy on things that don't move you forward, you create space for clarity, creativity, and purpose. You learn to show up where you are most effective, give your best to what truly matters, and walk away from what no longer serves you. In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, protecting your energy is not selfish, it's strategic. It's how you maintain control over your life, your mindset, and your mission. Your energy, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, is your most limited and valuable resource, yet it's the one people most often give away carelessly. Every interaction, every commitment, every thought you entertain has a cost. When you allow negativity, distraction, or toxic influences to drain you, you're not just losing time, you're compromising your ability to show up fully for the things that truly matter. Protecting your energy means being intentional with your focus, your space, and your boundaries. It's recognizing that not every invitation deserves a yes, not every argument needs your voice, and not every person is meant to have access to you. It's about filtering what you consume, the conversations you engage in, the media you scroll through, the environments you place yourself in, and choosing what fuels your growth instead of feeding your stress. It doesn't always look impressive on the surface, but over time, it's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Because it's not what you do occasionally that defines you, it's what you do consistently. When you let discipline speak louder than your motivation, you train yourself to act out of purpose rather than mood. You become unstoppable. Not because you never struggle, but because you've built a system that keeps you going even through the struggle. Success doesn't belong to the most excited, it belongs to the most committed. And commitment is forged in discipline, the quiet, often invisible force that pushes you forward when everything else tells you to quit. Motivation is powerful, but it's unreliable. It comes and goes, often sparked by emotion, inspiration, or the excitement of a fresh goal. But discipline, that's what stays when motivation fades. Discipline is the quiet engine behind success, the daily decision to keep showing up, to keep pushing forward even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to start strong when you're inspired, when the path is clear and the outcome is exciting. But what happens when the excitement wears off? What happens when the grind sets in, when progress slows, when no one is watching or cheering you on? That's when discipline steps in, the internal voice that says, do it anyway. Discipline is waking up early when your bed is warm and your willpower is weak. It's choosing practice over comfort, growth over excuses, and long-term goals over short-term pleasure. It's not flashy or loud. You set new ones. It's not about arrogance or superiority, but about being so anchored in who you are that you become a reference point for others, not a reflection of what already exists. The world is full of echoes, familiar, repeating voices that add volume but not depth. What it needs more of are individuals willing to set a new tone, to live with authenticity so boldly that it challenges others to do the same. Being the standard means refusing to be a copy when you were born to be an original. It's about choosing influence over imitation, substance over image, and truth over acceptance. You don't have to be perfect, but when you choose to lead with integrity, excellence, and vision, you raise the level of everything and everyone around you. In a world that constantly pressures you to conform, to fit in, and to mirror what's popular or accepted, being the standard means choosing to lead instead of follow. It's easy to echo what everyone else is saying, to adopt opinions that have already been shaped, to mimic trends that seem safe or celebrated. But true impact is made by those who dare to be original, who live by principles rather than popularity. Being the standard means having a clear identity, knowing your values, your purpose, and your goals, and allowing them to guide your actions, no matter the noise around you. It requires self-awareness, discipline, and the courage to stand alone when necessary. When you're the standard, you don't lower yourself to fit into rooms where your worth isn't recognized. Instead, you raise the bar and invite others to rise with you. You don't just follow rules, you redefine them. You don't just meet expectations. You stop drifting and start driving. It doesn't mean you rush or that you burn yourself out chasing endless goals. It means you're intentional. It means you treat your time like it matters, because it does. You speak the words that need to be said, do the work that needs to be done, and take the steps, however small, toward your larger vision. You don't wait for someday. You act now with clarity and commitment. Because when you understand how fragile and fleeting life really is, you stop settling for just existing and start insisting on truly living fully, deeply, and deliberately. Time is the one resource you can never get back, and yet it's the one most often taken for granted. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into years, while people wait for the perfect moment, for the right opportunity, for a sign that it's finally time to start. But the truth is, waiting is often just fear in disguise. Living with purpose and urgency means understanding that your life is not a rehearsal. It's happening now in real time, and every moment matters. It's about waking up each day with the awareness that you have something to offer, something to build, something to become, and that no one else can do it for you. Purpose gives you direction, but urgency gives you momentum. When you live with both, you stop procrastinating on your goals and start pursuing them with focused energy. You make decisions more boldly, take risks more confidently, and say no to distractions that don't align with who you want to be. They ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of saying, why me? They don't wait for things to get easier, they get stronger. Resilience isn't just bouncing back, it's bouncing forward using pain as fuel and obstacles as stepping stones. It's about adapting without breaking, bending without giving in, and continuing to believe in your worth and your vision, even when the world gives you reasons to doubt both. Life will test you, that's a guarantee. But it's in the testing that your endurance is shaped, your confidence is earned, and your grit is forged. Challenges will try to shake you, but resilience is what anchors you, reminding you that no storm lasts forever and no struggle is wasted when you rise from it wiser, tougher, and more determined than ever. Challenges are not roadblocks, they are the raw material from which resilience is built. No one grows stronger in comfort, and no one discovers the depth of their character when everything is going smoothly. It's in the difficult moments, the failures, rejections, losses, and disappointments that we are forced to dig deep and confront who we really are. Resilience is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about facing reality with courage and choosing to keep going anyway. It's the quiet strength to rise after a fall, to find meaning in the mess, and to show up day after day, even when progress feels invisible. Every setback you face offers two choices: let it define you, or let it refine you. And those who become resilient are the ones who choose the latter, who use adversity as a teacher, not a tormentor. It's not about being ungrateful for what you have, but about believing that you are capable of more and being willing to work for it. Greatness doesn't come to those who accept whatever life hands them. It comes to those who chase after it with clarity, intention, and relentless effort. Refusing to settle means embracing the discomfort of growth over the illusion of safety. It means rejecting mediocrity, even when it's wrapped in convenience. It's about setting a standard so high that even when you fall short, you're still far above where you started. When you decide that enough is not enough, not for your goals, not for your character, not for your life, you begin to rise above the ordinary and move toward the extraordinary. Settling often begins quietly. It starts when you tell yourself, this is good enough, even though something inside you knows it isn't. You make compromises, not because they align with your values or long-term goals, but because they're easier in the short term. You convince yourself that comfort is the same as happiness, that stability is the same as fulfillment. But the truth is, settling is the slow erosion of your potential. It's when you stop challenging yourself, stop reaching, stop daring to want more. And it doesn't just happen in big life decisions, it creeps in through daily choices, through the relationships you tolerate, the standards you lower, the dreams you delay. To refuse to settle is to demand more, not from others, but from yourself. It means being honest about what you truly want, even if it scares you. It means walking away from things that are almost right to make space for what is truly meant for you. Action is what separates dreamers from doers. It's what turns setbacks into setbacks, and it's just taking responsibility even when it's hard, even when it's not all your fault, is how you take back control of your life. It's how progress begins. When you shift your mindset from complaining to creating, from reacting to responding, you stop being a victim of your environment and start becoming the architect of your future. Action creates momentum. It opens doors. It builds resilience. And it transforms frustration into fuel. While others stay stuck in cycles of negativity, you rise by doing the work, by moving forward, by refusing to stand still. We all face moments of frustration when things don't go our way, when life seems unfair, or when we feel stuck in situations that seem beyond our control. In those moments, complaining can feel like a natural response. It's easy to fall into the habit of pointing out everything that's wrong, to find comfort in blaming circumstances, people, or systems. But complaints, no matter how justified, rarely lead to change. They create noise without movement. When we complain, we give our power away. We shift our focus outward, waiting for something or someone else to fix what's broken. But growth doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing. Every bit of energy used to dwell on problems could instead be used to create solutions, no matter how small the first steps may be. Standing for someone who's being overlooked, or voicing an idea that could be misunderstood but might also be brilliant. Boldness is not about volume, it's about conviction. It's about being clear on who you are and what you stand for, and refusing to let comfort, criticism, or conformity shrink your message. Whether you're standing in front of a crowd or sitting at a quiet table, your voice has the power to start movements, influence change, and remind others they're not alone. When you speak with authenticity and purpose, you light the way for others who haven't yet found the strength to speak for themselves. And that kind of voice, bold, honest, and unafraid, is how revolutions begin. Your voice is one of the most powerful tools you possess, not just the sound that comes from your mouth, but the expression of your ideas, your convictions, and your identity. Too often, people are told to stay in their lane, to not rock the boat, to blend in and be agreeable. But the world does not change. Progress is not made by those who remain quiet when it matters most. Using your voice boldly means having the courage to speak up in rooms where you're outnumbered, to ask questions no one else is asking, and to challenge the status quo when it no longer serves justice or truth. It means refusing to let fear of judgment keep you silent. It means raising your hand when others look down.